for me, like if I won the lottery, right? If I was sitting with what's the lottery at right now? 200. If I was sitting with $100 million,
$184 million.
Nice.
I literally drove by it today.
You're a gambler.
How
How many lotto tickets did you buy?
I've never bought one. I've never bought a
because I have four in my
life.
pocket right
I
now.
have bought lottery tickets
I have
for
never
sure
bought a lottery
before.
ticket in my life.
I can't go to the gas station without buying one. I'm playing.
All right, guys, welcome to part one. This is our very first episode. I'm your host, Ilya, and I have here joining us today my co-host, Ed. And our very first episode on part one is about White Spider Electronics with my partner, Phillip. Phillip, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
So, Ilya, you're right. My name is Phillip. Last name is Popov.
Don't you forget it.
Yeah, born and raised in Lincoln, Nebraska. Just always been here. It's actually interesting because I've always wanted to move away from Nebraska. Like Nebraska is that one place you don't ever think anyone's gonna live, right? Like no one's ever gonna stay in Nebraska. Everyone's gonna move
That's
out.
a good life, so.
Dude, there's homies that don't even know Nebraska exists.
Yeah, but like you're talking about flyover states, bro. Nebraska's that one state that everyone's gonna forget. So obviously, like my whole life growing up, I'm like, I'm gonna live somewhere on the coast, somewhere warmer. Obviously, Nebraska's not very warm. Somewhere that has a lot better weather. Weather in Nebraska is like.
All right, man. Well, let's dive right into it. Like I said, this is our very first episode, and we're going to be doing it on White Spider Electronics. So a little bit of backstory. What is part one? So part one is a talk show, a podcast, basically about part one of the journey of the businesses of the people that we're going to be interviewing. I want to know what you went through, how you started. What was that first step? What was part one in your journey, in your come up in your company?
Well, like a big point that I want, like what we're trying to actually capture is like that story of how it became to be, because it doesn't even have to be businesses. Yeah. That's not what I see. It's like, I mean, in whatever someone is starting, I feel like those beginning steps that nobody ever talks about, no one ever knows unless you have like a coffee with someone. That's the details we're trying to find.
Yeah, and like everybody knows, it's like, yeah, it was really hard. You had to grind, but
right.
What does that mean? What is the grind actually? What does that look like? And it's not sexy. It sucks. It's hard.
Yeah, and I think, man, you guys are just a perfect. I mean, I'll be kind of a fly on the wall here for the most part, but you guys are like the perfect podcast to start, because you guys are not. I mean, you guys started as not just as friends. You guys came up, met each other. Business wasn't even on the table at all, right? So I think, if we want to kind of jump into it, where kind of White Spider wasn't even a thing, but where that even idea came from, like when you started it, right? I think you should jump in on that, and then how everything came to be, and then how you guys both jumped in.
All right, so kind of before the White Spider days, so a little bit of White Spider. I guess I should even say, well, what does White Spider Electronics do? So White Spider Electronics, basically we refurbish electronics, mainly printers and computers as well. So it's definitely a niche market, not something you hear of often, but here we are 7 figures later, and it's working out. So before White Spider, I guess I was 15, and I had my cousin, he came to Nebraska, and he was visiting my family. And at that time, or still at this time, that cousin, he was doing printers and stuff like that. So we went to a Goodwill Electronics here in Lincoln, Nebraska. And there was some printers there. Like all kinds of printers. And he just bought like 15 of them, right? And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And so we brought him back to the house. And I'm like, hey, how do you want me to prepare these? Like, how do you want to pick these up? How do you want to ship them? And he looked at me. He's like, no, bro, I got those for you. You sell them. And I did. Literally, those 15 printers or however many it was, those were, I guess, the beginning days, and I would sell them on eBay, and I'd crumple up magazine balls. Me and all my siblings would crumple up, and I think
it wasn't just a sibling.
Yeah.
I remember crumpling up them magazine balls for like hours in that tiny little kept up garage you guys had.
I feel bad for those customers, bro. Imagine you buy a $300 printer, bro, and it comes with magazines as a
With
package.
Vogue on the top right there.
Yeah, dude. And honestly, it took like 15 magazines to pack one printer. So it took forever. Like imagine laundry baskets just to pack one printer. But yeah, I did that for, I want to say from 15 to 16. So it paid all my bills. I was probably doing $1,000 gross in revenue a month. But 15 years old making $1,000 a month. I mean, hey, it ain't bad. I was living good. What can I say?
No, but like when gross that's gross. What exactly? I mean, like in terms of
You can move the mic.
because you didn't mention how much he bought those printers for.
Yeah.
So say how much he bought them for, like for each, because 1,000 gross is one thing, but how much what the margin was on that?
Yeah. So those printers, they range from $2 to $4 a printer.
Real expensive.
Yeah.
Just top of the line.
Yeah. So he spent on those 15, I don't know, like $50 or something like that with tax. Yeah, and I mean each one of those printers, I mean I was selling for like $100 a pop, so
It's just ridiculous.
yeah,
It's ridiculous.
and I was not doing anything to them. They were refurbished. It's not like how we do it nowadays, where that whole printer gets gutted and rebuilt from the ground up. But yeah, well, I just sell them on refurbished, take some decent pictures, and some happy customers, some unhappy customers.
Yeah, I remember when you first told me about it, bro. I laughed so hard. I remember we were sitting in that in the nursery at church, and you were like, "Oh yeah, I used to sell printers on the side, but like I stopped." Bro, it was the funniest joke I've ever heard. I would not stop laughing. I was like, I don't believe you. You're kidding." And you're like, "No, it's happened." I was like, "No, it's not." And then you started flexing about this one person in particular having like 90,000 square feet. And I'm like, bro, that's not even realistic. Like, no, that's not going to happen. And then how did it happen? Because
so how it happened, how the initial partnership came about. So backstory, even before we get into that, so we're just going to brief over this really fast. Before Phil and I were partners, I hated Philip. I did not like the guy, We went to church together, and I thought he was just a douchebag. And I wasn't wrong. I'm just playing.
I wasn't, though.
But anyway, that's how it sounds. So I didn't really like him, but he came back saved and a different man. And so I was working at his brother's body shop, and Phil was working there too. And I remember one of the nights I was spending at your place, and I was like, man, dude, like printers, if we can figure that out, like that's where there's money. You can buy one for $4 and you can do it. And then I remember you looked at me, you're like, just blanks, you're like, let's do it then. And that's where it started.
I don't know. For me, I remember we went out to eat one of the nights. We were working late, and we went out to eat. We went out to the McDonald's on 27th, right next to the U.S. Bank. And we're sitting, and we're just spitballing because you have relatives in it. And then I had my relatives that do appliances. And for some reason, I was like, man, I want to do recycled things. I want to do scratch and dent things. I want to do something like that. Even my idea was like, let's do appliances. And you were like, well, why would we do appliances when we don't know that market? We can just do this because I know the market. I used to do it, and we're like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then I think the next morning or something like that, or maybe a week after, we went down to Goodwill.
The next day, I remember we left at lunch. We
Yeah,
left the
yeah.
body shop and we went back. And I still remember the very first printer we sold. We bought it for $3.99. For those who care, it was a M1536 DNF. I bought it for $4. We sold it the next day for $159.99. And I think that's when it blew your mind. Because you're like, what the? Like, how did that just happen?
Bro, we went back to Goodwill, loaded up.
Everything they had, yeah.
Loaded up.
I mean, we didn't just load up. I mean, like what we did, we went to Goodwill and we knew we're setting aside 4 or 5 hours. And so we'd literally take the printer, bring it over to the table at Goodwill, and we'd test the printer. If it printed out of paper, good to go. We're taking it.
And the thing is, like, right now we're doing laser jets. Back then we were
Inkjets, everything.
Anything we can get our hands on. So it was
anything that was
inkjets.
called a printer, we were selling.
Yo, if it's $50, we're taking it because it's costing us $3.
Yeah.
I remember we'd come home and we'd leave everything in my parents' basement. And man, I remember the time I came home, and I was so psyched because the whole floor in the basement was covered in print. Dude, it was like 15 printers.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that many, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, each one's worth $100. Like, and then
flexing printers, man.
yeah. And then shortly thereafter, we went, and I remember our first big purchase was for shelving. think we spent like $400 on shelving at this one place, hardware store. And yeah, we came home and set it up in my parents' backyard in their little shed. Yeah, and it was like, what do we do? You were working at this other company now.
Well, I'll chime in here. Through all of this, the good friend Ed happened to be just as close to each of you guys during this whole time. Somehow I missed out on the opportunity.
It's crazy that he calls himself a good friend now.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But I remember that first stage. I remember when you guys came back and you guys were like, hey, we're going to do printers. And I was like, oh, that's super cool. That's super cool. And I don't remember having an invite at all. And I still, to this day.
Sorry, Edward.
It's all right. I'm doing okay for now. But all right, talk about that shack in the back.
I mean, it was a pretty nice shed. I wouldn't call it a shack.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. It was
okay. It was a shed. Okay,
it's probably like what, 100 square feet, maybe 200.
No,
less.
That's a shack. This was like 600 square feet.
No, it was not.
It was
600
smaller
square
than
feet.
this room.
It was bigger than
Bro, our
smaller than
office
this
right
room.
now is like what, 1,000 square feet.
It was smaller than our office for sure.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. It was like not even half the office.
It was half the office.
no.
But
maybe it was, but we had half of that shed.
Yeah.
He only gave us. I mean, they graciously only gave us half.
At what point? I remember you guys had that order or that pallet of like the small ones. Was that early on? I feel like it was pretty early on.
Yeah, I was working as a dispatcher at a cold storage, exactly an hour away from where Phillip lived. And so on my days off, so I'd work 12-hour shifts, and on my days off, I would drive an hour to where Phil lived, and I would spend the night there. And my cousin that's in this industry, he sent over a pallet of these little inkjet printers, and he's like, hey, just write it down, and you can pay me per printer.
Well, the thing is, they were scrap units. Like, they were scrap units. He was throwing them away.
Busted,
So he just tossed us a bone. He was like, hey, I'm going to throw these away. Do you guys want to pay shipping and have them? So, I mean, he probably made money off the shipping too, So it was like...
No, but he definitely helped us out with that.
100%.
I mean, we were selling a couple steady. I mean, that like every month, this is when I was working a job and you were still working at the body shop. I think we were doing what, 1,500, 2,000 a month?
No.
Less?
We were doing like 500.
Yeah.
And we were psyched, bro. We would sell one a week. We're like, dude, we're making money moves.
Yeah.
We're selling one $115 unit. And if it was, what was it, the HP 90s? M90, or you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The silver ones didn't sell so good. The
H470s.
Yeah.
H460s.
Yeah.
H450s too. Yeah, I remember that.
The silver ones didn't sell good, but the darker ones,
The
bro,
dark blue ones, yeah.
The dark blue ones, they were hot, bro. We would sell two a week.
Who knew that I'd be
$180.
cheesing about printers, man? I'm 24 cheesing about 23 to whatever.
Yeah.
And so we got that stuff set up. Then I remember when the pallet came in. So because
that sucked.
Yeah, because we were in a
pallet. I was helping sorting that pallet. That sucked for me.
Yeah.
Unpaid.
Because
labor.
we were in a residential area, it couldn't get dropped off at the home. So we got dropped off at my brother's body shop, and we had to hand unload these pallets.
So the printers were like, I mean, like
they're tiny.
They're tiny.
They're tiny.
For the people on YouTube, I mean, like they're this big, So the people that are listening in, I mean, I think they were like 1 foot by half a foot.
Yeah,
and there was like 400 in one box, and we had to hand unload all 400 into his mom's SUV, and we did like 4 trips. Hand unload. That poor truck driver too.
Bro, we did like 8 trips.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, and then I remember we came back and the floor in the garage was covered in them. We had so many of them, we didn't even know what to do with them. Yeah, and then, man, I remember working, I'm sitting at my little desk. I had a little nightstand, like a small little desk, because obviously we don't have much room. And then I had a little light over it, and I'm just working on a little printer, the 6940s. And I'm trying to get...
those are still bomb printers, bro.
Yeah, they're solid units.
These 6940s, just a fun fact, they put them in jets.
And tanks.
Yeah. So the Air Force and the Army, because they're all steel. But yeah, that's just a little side tip. Fun fact about a printer.
So like, plus they move. I mean, like, this is back in the day, so $200 is a lot of money to us. I mean, $200 is still a lot of money, but $200 for this one unit, we paid $5 for it. So it's like, of course.
400% profit
Yeah.
right there. I mean, with shipping even.
So I'm sitting there trying to clean this ink out of it because ink is the worst thing ever. It just gets everywhere. So, and I'm trying to clean all this ink out. My father comes in. He's looking over my shoulder. He's like, hey, are you sure you want to be doing this? Like, I'm letting you guys use my garage. I'm letting you guys use my stuff. Doesn't really look like it's going. Is it going? And I'm like, well, we just sold this for $200. And he's like, $200, one sale in a month? And I'm like, no, it's not that bad.
$400.
Yeah, it's $400. Excuse me, sir.
We sold 2.
No, I think one big driving factor is that we knew that our good friend that was in this industry, I mean, he was doing well, so we knew it was possible, and huge credit to him. I mean, he helped us out a whole ton. I mean, even now, even in our very early stages, I mean, he sent us a pallet basically, and like, to be honest, like, basically that was just pro bono. He ended up just giving that pallet to us for free. We just took care of shipping, So shout out to you, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah. So quick, just real quick, go through like what, because I don't think people really get when you guys, in terms of refurbishing, like you're not, like there was no line, but you still had to quote unquote refurbish. Simply put, what does that mean?
Hey, all I'm saying is any customer that bought from us for 3 months in 2018, honest to God, I will replace that printer for you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I wasn't scamming homies. I was not. Okay.
I was trying.
No.
That's a scam. I was just trying my best.
We were just listing refurbished. If
used.
it worked.
Lightly used.
Yeah, it's lightly used.
Bro, these things.
Yeah, we don't even know how to like make them look good. I mean, so they'd be like scuffed up, and like we're like, well, that's the way that it is.
Yeah, that's just the way it is. What it is.
You see
Bro,
it, you
if I
buy
would have
it.
gotten my printer back then, oh my goodness, bro.
And the amount of people that bought our products without being upset at us blows my mind, because our standards were so low, but we thought they were high. Bro, we would just bust out a bottle of Windex and a microfiber towel, wipe it down, call it Gucci.
Microfiber towels.
Dude, we had a little photo booth. It was 2 white panels on a white table. We would take a picture. The printer, the unit is scuffed up. What's photo editing?
I mean, you see it, you buy it.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting type of thing.
Yeah, bro. Our listings were basically as is, bro.
Yeah. And to top it all off, dude, we were shipping with packing peanuts. This is a big printer.
No, this was
these
before.
packing peanuts.
This was
no,
before.
we were shipping. Were we?
No, you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
This was the
We
bubble.
did.
This is
Oh,
the
no.
bubble wrap stage,
This isn't bubble wrap. This is we were using newspaper.
Oh, we were still using newspaper.
Oh, you're still doing the balls and the thing?
Yeah, no. We didn't use balls, but we'd like stuff it.
Yeah. So shout out to this one newspaper. They're free. You can get them like at any kind of gas station or general store. But I would walk in, grab the whole stack, leave, go to another gas station, grab the whole stack, leave.
Not like anyone's reading them anyway.
Yeah, bro, for real. It's just a bunch of cars. Like, no one's going to be buying a car.
Why do they print those, dude?
Bro, can you believe people buy cars on
Industry.
newspapers? That blows my mind. People say selling printers is mind-blowing. No, selling newspapers is mind-blowing, bro.
This is true, bro, honestly.
But so we were doing that for a while. And then, unfortunately, I ended up breaking my arm. So I remember how we, the whole situation around it. This was the first.
Ed, you were there for that
I was
too,
there
huh?
for that too. I was driving.
You were driving.
That was driving. You was just out there with your hand out the window. Just.
Hey, we're gonna cut momentarily right now, and we're just gonna have a little. No, I'm playing. Don't actually cut.
But I remember we went. So man, this was a whole. I had this buddy of mine. Rebuild my motor on my Subaru. I had a WRX money pit. Don't ever get a Subaru WRX, bro. I don't care who you are. Don't ever buy a Subaru. Anyways, so I had this guy rebuild this motor for me, and then this was this the first time? No, this wasn't the first time we went to the.
Is this the first time a car didn't work out for you? No, this was not the
No,
first.
no, the auction. The auction.
Yeah, it was one. Nah, it wasn't one of the first times. But like, we're getting ahead of ourselves on that auction. Like a lot had that auction.
Yeah,
was
the
found
auction
way
was-
later.
We were still at my
Okay, no.
my parents.
Oh, we were. Yeah.
No. Here. Okay, was the auction before or after you decided
LLC?
to? No. Before or after
No.
you decided to.
It was
leave?
before.
This was before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
We'd
was
roll up
before.
on a Saturday, like every month or something like that.
Yeah, once a month we'd roll up on a Saturday.
That was when things started to change because like actually like we started to see, hey, we can buy like laser jets, which is what we mainly focus on now, laser jets, because they're reliable and they don't suck like inkjets, you know. So like we would be like, dang, these are like dope printers, you know. So like we'd be fiending for them, you know. Or like, man, when's this next auction? So yeah, we'd go to these auctions for like 4 hours and bid like, you know, like here.
Yeah. So
And,
And thought we were money bags. I was like, ain't nobody outbidding me.
The places these auctions were held, I remember I went to one of them with you guys. It's a warehouse. It's just a shack place.
Yeah.
And there's pallets of stuff.
Yeah.
So
you guys thought
it was just
stuff,
bro.
so
Things going for like $1 a pop.
a little side note on why the different kind of printers matter. Inkjet printers, they're more, they make money off the ink. They make money off selling you the ink. And then the printer goes bad within a month because if you don't use it, the ink dries up. So they're $50, $100. The reason
they're all
why
plastic.
the reason why
Not durable.
laser printers are worth more is because they have that toner, and the toner just lasts longer, a lot more reliable anyways.
Yeah, and they're super solid. So like if you're looking for a laser printer, you know, go to www.whitespiderelectronics and we'll hook you up, or give us a call and
Get that
we
plug
got
in.
you. Yeah.
Shameless plug. But anyways, so I remember the first, man, and the thing is this kind of warehouse, it's like these auctions, obviously it's like a bid kind of auction. But we came, right? And this is our first time there. And we look over at some of these guys, bro. Oh my goodness. I remember there's one guy who'd come up to a printer. That's a good unit. And bro, I don't know nothing.
Bro, I took it personally because I knew I was going to win that printer. I was like, don't be touching my printer right
It's
now,
like you
bro.
buying fruit.
I was like, what are you doing?
We're buying for, I'm sitting there, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, that's a good unit. That's a good unit. And we're sitting there, right? And like the thing is, like, man, I've never seen people like, what's the word? Cheapskate?
Cheapskate.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. The definition at this auction, this, I'm not gonna call it junk. These items are selling for $3. Someone puts a bid up to $4. Someone's like $5. Well, the auctioneer is like $5. Can I get $5? They're like, no, I'm out. It's like $100 piece of equipment. It's good, and they're like, no, that's too much. I'll do two. And like the thing is, these people, and it's like, you know, it's like the stereotypical person that you think you would see at this kind of auction. I'm talking about like New Balances, white tube socks all the way up, jean
But they
shorts.
ain't rolling up in Vets. They were rolling up in some like 1980s Ford
Tractors.
pickup. Yeah.
Jean shorts pulled up all the way, shirt tucked in, bro. These guys, goofy looking homies.
And
Anyways.
then you guys.
Yeah, and then us, bro. We fit
Bro,
in.
we were so young. Nobody else was going there. So people kept giving us looks, and I felt so good. I'm like, that's right.
Oh my goodness.
I
Buying
outbid
this
you.
junk too.
Yeah, that's right. $9.
So yeah, there's like a lot of like 20 items, right? And they're selling for like $10 a unit. And I remember someone bought them for 20, and I'm like, man, this guy's got money. Money bags over here rolling deep.
Like, okay, Todd.
For real. Okay, Todd, you know? Because he's like, oh, I'll take all of them. I'm like, man, we got competition, local competition in the printer market, man. I'm stressed out. You know, we drive home talking about how we, like,
Need to destroy them, bro. I remember saying, I was like, I have a personal vendetta against him. He's never buying a printer again. And you know what? He never bought a printer again. He just got the scraps of what I didn't want.
Well, you guys have had more with the vendettas with the. This is later on, but you guys had those other companies that were.
Yeah.
You guys will get into that later, but
Yeah.
that's interesting too.
I'm not following.
hey, so yeah,
With the
no,
Kansas
there's
City.
more. There's more. But check this out.
Oh.
Check this out. We would be bidding with such a grudge that we would bid on something, and then we'll say, I don't want that. You can have that. Bro, talking about like some cocky, like prideful homies, bro. Like,
some
oh,
Pawn
that's the
Stars.
ancient. I don't want that.
Hey, but
You
we
can have
backed it up, bro. We were selling these printers, and we had the money, $100 to back it up, bro.
A whole $100.
That's
big ballers.
Yeah.
Move on to that aspect. I think it was crazy interesting when both you guys decided to go full time on it. Because that, first of all, crazy. You guys are both single, but that's like, I remember you were going back and forth on it like crazy. I actually don't even I don't remember how you made that decision.
Yeah. So I've kind of always been self-employed. I never really worked anywhere. I worked at McDonald's.
Self-employed.
Self-employed.
Unemployed, bro. Unemployed. No, I used to work at McDonald's, bro. I hated that junk. I was like, I'm never gonna work for anyone else again. Worked at Runza, got fired.
Yeah, don't
Worked
be
at
saying that, bro.
McDonald's, got fired.
That's like defamation, you know? Like, actually.
Especially
Is
in
it?
this time
Can
of
I
day.
not say it?
Say
This burger joint.
this burger joint. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, say it.
So I used to work at this burger joint, and yeah, it was rough. It was rough. Like
Bro, I just finished watching the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, man. I'm not trying to get sued for defamation, bro.
well, it's all good as long as you're not
So
leaving
much clout
presents.
if McDonald's sues us right
Yeah.
now.
But anyways, so I kind of always worked for either my brother, which it wasn't really working for him because it was more like I'm just doing jobs, but I'm also doing jobs that he's kind of given me. And then I also did construction, which that's like kind of you have a boss, but you're kind of just doing your own work.
Yeah, Phil is definitely an
Um,
expert on body work in all areas of where he worked. Huh, Phil?
I don't know where you're trying to get at with that,
I
but
feel like
okay.
that was-
So I guess I knew that working at a company or working for someone like in the corporate world was never really an option for me. It didn't. There was nothing about it that attracted me. You know, it was kind of like you see these people. They're working harder. Yeah, they're putting in more hours, but they also have the freedom to show for it. You know, so that's kind of what always drew me into it. But what made us make that decision was I think this was a few months after I broke my arm. So even when I broke my arm, I was sitting at home. So I got surgery. I had 3 plates put in my arm, like 13 screws. I'm sitting at home. Units are selling. You're in Crete. You know, it's like I don't know what to do. I'm over here cleaning printers with one arm. I'm like putting void fill down, calling my dad over to lower this unit into there. You know, then I'm asking him to put it in the car. Yeah, and like he's driving it down. I'm sitting there in my sling. I was doing that for a little bit, and then we were at your house. I think we were at your parents' house, and this was right after your hood opened up on your 350Z. Shout out Cybon. Was that a Cybon hood?
No, Carbon Creations.
Carbon Creations. Shout out Carbon Creations. If you need some more body work done on your car.
Yeah, bro. Y'all owe me a refund. They didn't even refund me, man.
Yeah, bro. And you just bought that junk. I remember you were so psyched. You got this.
Everything except for the hood clips.
Yeah.
I had the hood clips. I was supposed to put them on that night.
I remember how psyched you were because you just got this fat paycheck for working 90 hours. It was $600. And
It was like 800.
$800. And then
weeks ago.
after tax, 600. And you're like showing me, you're like, man, I just got paid. I'm gonna buy this hood. Bro, I was so against it. I was like, don't do it. You bought that hood. 3 weeks later, it opens up on you. I think that's when you kind of got rid of the car. You ended up getting a Fusion, right?
No, I think he got the white Chrysler after that.
No, that was my first car.
Oh, that was your first one.
I don't remember what I had.
Doesn't
That's
matter,
not really
yeah.
matter. Yeah. No, for me it was a little different because I remember when I quit was April 14th. I was driving home with you actually from your brother's wedding.
Yeah.
And I remember we had a meeting with our local supplier that we still work with today. And it was on Wednesday. And I remember my boss, horrible boss. You're the reason why I never wanted to be employed under.
What's that name?
Bro, any
right.
boss whose
We ain't
name
like
is
that then.
Heather, bro.
Any human.
That's messed up. But yeah.
Hey, Heather and Karen, bro. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I ain't gonna name names, but yeah, like just the most toxic place I ever worked in my entire life. Just horrible, you know? And so I remember we had a meeting on Wednesday and we were driving back. I think it was Sunday morning. And they texted me and they're like, hey, you have to work this Wednesday, which I wasn't even scheduled to work, but they were trying to make me work. And I was like, nah, whatever. So I wasn't sure. Anyway, I was going to blow off that meeting that I had on Wednesday, and I had another meeting on Friday with this, who I thought was going to be a big supplier, but ended up being like just a dead end, you know. But I remember being in the car, and I think he said, dude, just do it. And I texted her. I was like, I quit.
No. You typed out that text in your notes. You had that text ready the entire ride from South Dakota. So it was like 3.5 hours. The next day, you still didn't send it.
No, I sent it on the drive back.
On the drive back?
Yeah, very early, like within 15 minutes of us. We left the gas station. We were talking about it, and I just sent it. Yeah.
Maybe I'm remembering that wrong, but yeah, that I remember. I think the next day. Okay, was there any like instant regret? Was there like a worry, or maybe not regret, but like worry or like?
Of course. Of course. My whole life, like I was like, I always had a steady paycheck because I was always working somewhere, you know? And so I'm like, what am I doing? Like, what the heck? You know, hey, this is the second time I quit that job, because the first time I wanted to start a body shop, but it didn't work out. I realized I hated it, and I went back to that job. And then this is the second time, and I'm like, this is really burning that bridge, you know? And I'm just flat out quitting. Anyway, did that. Wednesday, we have that meeting, and huge meeting. Really, I think it was that supplier started our company. Within 4 days of us getting that meeting, we had gotten a warehouse. We had registered our company as an LLC, and we like straight up took the jump. We're like, we're not making $1,000 a month, but we have rent to pay, and that's $1,000 a month. So we better figure it out. But we knew it would sell, you know.
How big was that warehouse? And like all the
1,700 square feet, I think.
That's where you started. Okay.
Yeah.
Or was it 1,500?
It was 1,500.
1,500,
So yeah, there was a little bit of a hiatus between. I broke my arm in October, and then in April is kind of when stuff started picking back up. I remember we were driving down, searching for warehouses, and we were super stressed out because like we're not really making money. Why are we looking at a warehouse? What's the point of it? But we just had this one thing where we knew volume equals money. You know, where if we're making 30% off of selling 5 units, if we can make 30% off selling 50 units or 500 units. So that's kind of when we made that move. I remember we were driving around. It was not too far from here, actually. And we pulled in. We're like, man, this place is perfect, you know. 1,500 square feet. Like, it's crazy to think now. Like, I can't even, like, dude.
It was the size of our office now.
Yeah, like, honestly, we had a little station where I would fix the printers. We had one little office where you would sit there and list the units. Like, bro, your brother would even come and help us out.
Yeah.
Get into what I think. I think this is like one of the. I think that warehouse. I think like from the side view, that office I feel like made you guys honestly the kind of business owners that you guys are now, because get into how much money you were actually making or lack thereof a week.
Are you talking the company or us?
You.
Yeah. There's nothing to talk about.
Well, no, not only that, and then get into the aspect of like. Because of how far you lived, and technically you weren't living close either, of what happened was like, because there'd be nights where you wouldn't go home, you know?
So technically I didn't have any income since I broke my arm, and then you quit not very long after. So
I had $0. It all went on that hood.
Yeah.
I had credit cards.
Yeah, we both had no money. We got rent. I mean, we signed the lease for this unit, right? It was how much? $950 a month?
Yeah, for 1 year.
Yeah. And bro, there came times in the summer where it's like we didn't have any money. I had to pay rent. And I'm sitting there and it's like, I don't have any money. Ilya doesn't have any money. Where am I going to get this money? You know, I had to scrape something up. Yeah, I had to call our friend Ed. But scrape something up, you know, and I'm sitting there like, dude, this just got real. You know, we both live at our parents. We both have no bills. Why don't we have any money? Where all of our money is going into this warehouse that isn't making any money yet.
Yeah, it was mad rough because it's like, it got really real really quick. Like, it really like sobered you up super quickly, because it's like, okay, now you have bills to pay. And it wasn't just rent. I mean, like, we had to have, did we have Wi-Fi in there?
Oh yeah,
you did. Yeah,
you had Wi-Fi. I mean, like, and there was other stuff, dude. I didn't even have money to spend I didn't even have money to spend on gas, and I lived half an hour away, one way.
Well, that's why you weren't going home.
Yeah, like most of the nights, and like, you know what's crazy? It's like it wouldn't even be a problem, because it's like we would work 14, 16 hours, and then I'd just like pass out on the couch that my dad gave me, and I put that in the office, and I'd just pass out, and then I'd wake up to Philip opening the door at like 7:30, you know, coming into the warehouse.
Shout out to your dad for giving us that pea stained couch.
Blasted couch.
We went through all your.
You still have it?
Siblings. No, we threw that junk away.
That couch was awesome,
bro. But that couch, hey,
y'all should have kept something from it.
It got us there, bro. It got us there, you know. And the nights Ilya wasn't staying there, I was staying there.
Yeah.
It was just, man, like, I remember the first time we spent,
I think it was $1,200. and we got like 14 pallets of printers or something. It was crazy for that amount of money.
Did you guys even fit them in? Because you didn't have racking.
No. Okay, so we actually got our first load, and we had to defer it to somebody's shop.
No. You're. Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yep. You're
We
right.
were still trying to move. We moved in at like May 1st.
So so we got this load, right? It was 4 or 5 pallets of scrap, and we paid $1,200 for it. And they got it delivered to my brother's body shop, and we're sitting there sorting this out. It's like 10 p.m.
Man, the amount of printers we would have thrown away, I would have slapped myself so hard if I would have seen it. Just throwing away money.
And the thing is, like, my father and my brother are standing there, and they're like, man, you guys paid a lot for this. Like, is there anything good? And we're like, there has to be, you know, and we're sorting through it, and we finally found one good thing. And I'm like, man, this is enough to cover the load, you know? And like, luckily enough, we were able to profit off of it, which is crazy to think, because like,
I remember like half that load away.
Yeah, we threw so many printers away. But some time went by, and then at this one place, at our first place, we luckily had neighbors that were nice enough to let us use their forklift, which is like huge, you know.
They tried to steal our supplier after we moved out.
Oh my goodness,
actually.
bro!
Really?
Talking about
Yeah.
vendettas, bro. They tried to steal our supplier.
Dude,
Oh, man,
I was like, yo, like this ain't a question.
How'd you find out?
They told my supplier told me
Oh,
they
that
had
they
been
reached
because
out?
I was like, I hadn't had a load from them in like a month, and I was like, this is way down the line, like last year, and I was like, that's so weird. And they're like, oh, there's this company that buys, and I'm like, I know that company. So yeah, but I was like, whatever, I'm gonna
Weren't
pay.
they also a printer shop?
Yeah,
right
they did
next
like
door.
Yeah, they
copiers
sell
and stuff.
copiers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I told them, I was like, I'll always pay more than them, $1 more. Don't even, if they put in more, do it. You know?
Also, they buy the scrap that we send back, which
That's
is
right.
a win-win, you know. But I remember the
saying
first big load. It was like 13 skids. It was 5K, and we didn't have any money for it, so I ended up having to figure it out somehow.
We put a lien on your car.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but
Really?
Yeah.
and I'm like sitting there and I'm like stressed out. I'm like, man, what are we doing? Like, bro, $5,000. Like, and the thing is, like, 5,000, like, it doesn't sound like it's a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like, you throw that around, like, bro, like, you got.
Yeah, to keep in mind here, I mean, we started this company in April. We didn't take a single dollar. I mean, like, for what, like 9 months? Not
we didn't-
not $1.
We didn't pay ourselves, and even when we did start paying ourselves, it was like $100 or $50
It
a
was
week.
it was 100. It was 100. No, it was 150 a week, and I remember that day. I remember both of you guys were like, "Hey, I was so happy. I paid off my phone. I filled up my car. We're
Yeah.
good."
Yeah, speaking of my car, I remember it got so bad in we started in April and July. It got so bad. I started having issues with my car, dude. Had no money to fix it. Put that car in the auction. $1,100 is what I sold it for. And man, that $1,100 lasted about a whole 4 days. I was like, I've been deprived of some B-dubs, you know, some good living, you know. So I made sure to spend that real quick, real dumbly. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is,
So
like,
$5,000 at that time, man, it was. I remember sitting there and I was like, dude, if we could just make $3K a month each, I'd be happy for the rest of my life.
yeah. No, the thing is, like, back then, yeah, that 5K, bro, like, I'm sitting there and, like, the thing is, like, when it's something that you're familiar with, it's easy for you to spend money on it, right? So I'm like, man, I could have bought a car. I know I could have flipped that car for $7,000-8,000. Like, that's guaranteed profit. Like, I know I could have done it. But instead I bought these printers, and I'm looking through these pallets, and I'm like, are we even going to get our money back? Are we even going to be able to profit? And I mean, like, luckily we did. We were able to get that paid off or paid back. And yeah, just slowly over time, I remember.
Yeah, how much did we end up making in 2018? Was it? I believe it was $99,000 gross.
In 2018?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was our first year we did, and then the next year after that we did 490 something thousand.
Okay, before we get ahead of ourselves, before we had to, get there, tell me what was in your guys' mind. What was the biggest jump from, from being that small? Like, when did you guys actually start growing? Was it just like, when did you guys actually start picking up on volume? Like, what happened? What was the big change there? Because you guys started paying yourselves, right? Because you guys started, bringing in a little bit more.
I mean,
was it the method? Was it like the shipping? Was it the connection? Was it a new warehouse? What was the big change there?
I think we just found a rhythm, found, hey, this is what we need to do. We need to receive, we need to sort, we need to list, we need to, and the thing is, we also realized that us two alone, we can't do it. Like, we can't do everything.
Yeah.
We are working 12 hours a day, but we still don't have enough time to do everything. Dude, keep in mind, this is back when we were packing peanuts.
Yeah.
It took like literally an hour for one printer to get packed. Horrible.
So how much did a bag cost?
I don't know. I think it was like 20 something bucks.
Yeah, so we're buying these huge
Gigantic.
bags.
Like,
Yeah.
They're getting delivered to my house. I'm putting them in a car. I could only fit 2 bags in a car because I had a small car.
Huge.
yeah.
Dude, I'm driving them back. And then later on, we
About
found
the size of this table, actually.
yeah, dude, these are massive.
I slept on one of them one time.
And imagine you're standing over a small box with a large bag of peanuts, and you're spilling them everywhere. Then you got to fit a printer in there, bro. The thing is, like, we had such a high return rate. I don't even know how we were making money. Like, I don't. Bro, the amount of units that got broken. That's the secret.
That's the secret. Yeah, no, it was pretty crazy. The turning point, I think, dude, honestly, like, if I were to give like one tip, like one piece of advice, is give your business time. So I think that was like a really big thing for us. I mean, like, that year, that even 2 years, man, it was so hard. And like, literally, we just bunkered down. And with time, I think there was a turning point where we had a relationship with a direct vendor, D's. Yeah, I mean, it's just this guy, yeah. So you know who I'm talking about, right, Phil? D's.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to make a joke here. Like, that was actually the person's last name. Anyway, we made a relationship with this guy, with this client, and he was sending us about, I mean, a pretty significant amount of orders.
No.
What were we doing? Like,
you're getting ahead of ourselves. Ahead of yourself.
This is kind of like our turning point here.
Oh yeah, but we went from 1,500 square feet, and then our lease was coming up. So we found another place that was 2,700 square feet.
Didn't you guys? Okay, I'm gonna comment one thing. Didn't you guys? Wasn't the warehouse, if we can even call it that, originally wasn't some guy living there doing like heroin?
Yeah.
Oh, this other place.
Crazy.
Yeah. The guy, he got kicked out. He was doing drugs and stuff like that. He built a little shower in the bathroom. It was rough, man.
Yeah,
it was
so we
rough.
came in there and we're like, don't do drugs. And so he left and we took the place.
Yeah, but we moved into this place. It was like 2,700 square feet.
I don't think it was that big. I think it was like 2,200.
It was significant. It wasn't like at least 1,000 bigger than the old one.
The thing is, it didn't seem big because it had like a bunch.
Because it was so awkwardly.
Yeah. And when we moved in here, I mean, a lot of things were changing. Our standards were higher. I mean, like, we were trying to be the best. Like, I was like, I want our printers to look the best. Like, we figured out how to like make sure that they look new. Like.
Yeah, but I mean, our standards were still not that high.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they were like, I wouldn't be like ashamed of it.
Yeah, and then so that was a huge jump because we're basically doubling in size. So it was,
how much were we doing when we first moved in there? Because at that time we had that new direct vendor. How much in sales were we doing?
Not much.
I think it was like, I want to say we were doing about $10,000 a month, right?
I doubt it.
I don't think you guys got.
I don't think we were doing that much.
Towards the end, we were
maybe I'm thinking $1,000 a week. But anyway, that $1,000 a week kept us busy. I mean, like, there was a point, and like, we couldn't keep up with it. I mean, I remember like, Sunday, coming in on Sunday, I remember one time looking, I think I have a screenshot somewhere. We had like 99 orders to ship. 99 orders. We were so behind.
I remember that.
Yeah, but I mean, you're getting ahead of yourself again because when we first moved, we only had 3 employees still. Like, I mean, not 3. We had 1 other employee, so it was us 3.
Yeah, it was you 2 and then someone.
Yeah. So, man, we got blessed by being able to buy a local forklift.
Oh,
man, this unit is still running.
You're saying
Toyota forklifts, bro. It's the way to go.
You're saying the forklift was our turning point?
100%.
The forklift?
100%.
Not the method, not the
business model. Money coming in.
Equipment,
forklift.
Bro. Equipment. Just look into it. But no, it's not the forklift. That was the method. But anyways, so we got this forklift, right? We're able to actually receive units at this location because like that was the one reason why we didn't want to move locations because we had a location where our neighbor, we kind of, we were able to moosh off his forklift. And as you guys know, a forklift is $15,000. So luckily we were able to do that. We ended up moving over. And obviously, since we have more room, like this is 1,000 more square feet. I remember
And we used the outside of that too. I remember we
Yeah.
stored pallets
yeah.
outside of there too.
first thing we did was buy as many printers as we could, and then I think after a little bit of time went by, I think we ended up getting in contact with that guy, and he started sending orders our way. And this was back when I was cleaning, I was refurbishing, I was cleaning, I was packing, and yeah. So and then you would come and clean, or you would come and pack, whenever we had time. And then this one guy was just cleaning printers, and yeah, it just got to a point where we had, I don't know about 90 orders, but I remember we had to come in on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I think that was when we realized, hey, we need to hire some people.
Definitely 99 orders. I remember that. Yeah, there was a huge shift. I mean, like there was a lot changed during that time where we started kind of expanding rapidly because it hurt. And we definitely had to start kind of playing like out our strong suits, like obviously Phil's strong suits were like, he was more of a like, I want to say technician.
Yeah.
Where he more so was like, hey, like I can do the work, I'll do this, I'll do that, and I understood that like for me, like my role was more like, hey, how am I like expanding on this, growing this, a lot of the administrative stuff. Like I took care of all the administrative, all the listings, all the new vendors, anything sales wise, I was taking care of. So I was doing everything we could to grow the company, and then Phil in the back end of that was making sure that like with that growth, like he all the physical work that had to happen, like he was putting in a lot of that work. So I think like during that point, and I think like that's kind of how we play at each other's like,
Right.
I want to say like abilities or how we are
Strengths.
as people, our strengths. Yeah, exactly.
Capitalize on them. Yeah.
Yeah. So like at that time, I mean, obviously like when we had like that 100 orders, I mean, we were all in there cleaning, sweating and stuff like that, getting all those.
I think I was in there cleaning.
Bro,
too,
this room was like 300 square feet, no AC.
Yeah. It was so hot and
I
cold all the
remember
time,
that.
dude.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
Like in terms of kind of from the outside looking in, I think when you guys were talking about that, and I think this is interesting. I don't know if you guys want to go in on it, maybe not even on this podcast, but some other time about a challenge or whatever. But there was that direct guy that you were selling to, right? Now the thing is, in a way, he was your competition, because he was selling everything you guys are selling, just marking it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because had you guys crossed into Amazon yet?
No, see, we knew he was selling on Amazon, but like in order to get to sell on Amazon, like their standards were very, very high,
Right.
and you had to provide like.
But here's the thing: that's you're the product that you guys were that was his standard. Like that's so. Like I wonder how did you guys like that aspect of getting from technically providing him everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, like.
So when we first started, eBay was our bread and butter. I mean, everything was eBay. eBay was the only thing we knew. And then we got in contact with this guy, and we knew he was selling on Amazon. But the thing is, Amazon has really strict guidelines on who can sell.
This wasn't just Amazon. This was Amazon Renewed. So it was their new program, so it's very like specific. So we were selling on normal Amazon at the time too. But he was selling on this new platform, and so like the volume was insane there. And so I don't know what happened. I think he ended up getting shut down or something because, I mean, you're not allowed to drop ship, that's against Amazon policies. And I think he got caught, so he got suspended, and that crippled us because our Amazon account at that time, like we had some issues like where something went wrong and we were suspended. I don't know if you remember that first suspension on the normal Amazon, but I actually remember walking with you down
Was
the
our
road.
ODR high or?
Yeah. So I actually remember walking with you. I don't know if you remember. I walked to Runza. It was next day, and I was like, straight up, I was like, dude, I'm submitting job applications. I think this is it. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
We're like super tight.
This is already warehouse number 2 as well.
Yeah, I mean, this was like, dude, I thought it was it, like breaking point here, and had to bunker down again, and we did, and I think within like a week it reopened, and yeah, I think, and the thing is, we stayed at that second warehouse for probably about all of like 7 months, and I remembered we were.
I feel like a lot happened in that 7 months.
Yeah, we
Oh
grew a lot.
We started whitening our printers, everything. Yeah.
That was a mess. That was
whitening.
even looking out to end. Oh my
Yeah,
Goodness.
whitening printers is super cool. So it's a process called the retro bright, and it's funny because like we had so this place was super sketchy, this warehouse, and
Just had rooms.
the
Super sketchy.
the thing is like it sounds big, but like it's really not. I doubt it's 20. It's
Because it
probably
wasn't
like,
just an open like 2,700 square.
No.
I mean, like it was like angled weird.
It wasn't like
There's that weird-
slanted.
and then
had
like,
that back room.
Yeah, it had that's what I'm
The
talking
wet
about.
room that was like had
Yeah.
the
That back room was big, but like the thing is, the way it was angled, it wasn't very big.
no, yeah.
You know what I
it
mean?
was-
Like the angle matters. But anyways, so you walk through this little hallway, right? We use this hallway to store toners, and then you go into this room, and then all you see is this big box with foil all over it, and then you
Oh, yeah.
open
I
up
mean,
the
the
foil.
It look if we got
box.
raided for some
Bro,
whatever reason, dude, homies would be like, "What are you doing?"
They're
in
still
here?"
doing heroin in this house.
100%. You open up this foil. I made a little flap for it, and all you see is foil on the inside and black lights. So like, bro, you know for a fact it looks like a.
Here's the thing, it wasn't just a
whatever.
box; it was a cardboard box.
Well, it was a.
Oh, it was a cardboard
It was
box.
it was a shelf.
It was actually a shelf, and we had.
but
cardboard
I
all
had
around.
cardboard. I wrapped in cardboard.
Insulated it.
Wrapped
with-
it. Oh, it was insulated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's
Still
heat and
looked
light.
Awful.
But yeah, that was huge. But yeah, 7 months, man. I don't even know if we moved in January. We moved out in August or September.
Yeah. September.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a crazy time too.
Well,
because
no, actually, check this out. We signed the lease
for the new place.
to move in September, but we signed it in like July or August,
Yeah.
and they gave us a month free because we had to still build into it.
Yo, what a scary time too, because we went from paying $1,000 in rent a month to $3,000, and again, we're still not on Amazon. So we move into this place.
How much are we
Really?
paying ourselves? Like
At that time?
$200 a month?
Yeah, I think it was like
I mean,
$200.
$200
It
a
wasn't
week?
much. It was still peanuts.
$100 a week.
Yeah, probably not $100 a week. but
No,
we
it
were
was
like-
it was there. It was there. It was
very
at least
very
there.
very low amount of money. But I remember, kind of going farther in the story. Like,
We weren't using peanuts. We were already using the nice machine.
yes, we were. That's right.
I think
That was a huge shift.
I
mean,
would-
If we were, yeah. So check this out. So this,
Yeah.
my bad for
No, you're good.
interrupting, but peanuts take 45 minutes for one box. This new machine, it's the Cadillac of packing. It's
That's right.
It's the Cadillac of void fill, right? You ever get a headlight in the mail and it's covered in foam, secured packing?
we got that.
We got that.
We're taking care of these
And
printers.
how did you guys get that?
I don't know.
That's classified.
Well,
No,
so I think like the piece, and then you don't have to go into it, but it's one of those aspects of like it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
Those aspects really rocketed you guys forward because
Yeah.
it was no longer hours of packing; it was
100%.
Yeah, and I
minutes.
mean, like that. My cousin helped us a ton. You know, like, I mean, a lot of credit to him. Like, we had to put in a ton of the work and stuff like that. But like, we definitely capitalized on the fact of his knowledge and all of his mistakes. Like, I remember telling Phil all the time. Like, we talk about it. We were like, we know his mistakes. He's told us his mistakes. Let's literally do the cliche thing. Let's learn from those mistakes. You know, and like,
And let's make our own mistakes. Yeah. So you mentioned you asked her like, what's that one thing that really
Yeah.
propelled you guys forward?
right.
I can't really say there was one thing. It was more like a domino effect. Like all these little things that we did, everything kind of added up, and it put us in a position where we can actually make the most of it. You know, because like having a larger warehouse, like that's nice. That doesn't mean anything if you can't move product.
Right.
You know.
Right.
because you know we're not trying to be a storage facility. you
Yeah.
know? So no, yeah.
I
That
think
time came like September time, yeah, and we moved into that new warehouse, and man, that was us really just kind of risking it all because honestly, we couldn't afford that warehouse. It was $3,000 plus we had to pay all of our employees. I mean, like we were pretty leveraged out.
how many employees did you guys have leaving?
We had
that other warehouse.
three employees plus us, so we had 5 total. 5 of us, me, Phil, and 3 employees:
So
Yuri, Jacob, Alina,
And Val.
and Val.
was
Okay.
she already on?
She was. She started in warehouse too, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, right
Okay.
on. But yeah, no, I mean, and we were over leveraged for like not fun reasons. I mean, like we had taken out basically loans from loan sharks. I mean, like a lot of the stuff we needed, we couldn't get lines of credit. First of all, my credit sucked, his credit sucked. I mean, we were just broke for like a year and a half, and we're still broke, you know. So we had no lines of credits, you know. So everything we were doing was cash, and we ended up taking loans where like we were paying like literally 30+% interest on these loans. Brutal,
Yeah,
killing
so-
us, you know.
So, like I mentioned before, our own mistakes. Like, now looking back at it, like, dude, that's 100%. Like, if I could go back in time and tell myself something, I'd slap myself and be like, hey, don't do this because you're shooting yourself in the leg. You know, like, and the thing is, like, at the time we needed the money. There was no other option for it. But like now looking back at it, like, yeah, we were still able to climb out of the hole even with those kind of percents, which is crazy. But
30%. I mean,
bro,
yeah, and I mean, and
that's
we did it.
rough.
That's being conservative.
It was rough.
And the thing is, it wasn't just one. I mean, we just upped and upped and upped and up and redid it, you know, because like, I mean, and the thing is, it wasn't like accruing, like, hey, you paid off. No, it was like, hey, you're taking $70,000 out. Okay, you're getting hit with that 35% interest right now on that full amount.
But it was even more than that. It was more than that.
Also, they take out their underwriting fee.
Oh yeah,
It's just 3%.
So it's rough.
I mean, what's the highest percentage that you guys, dumbly, but it was necessary, what was the highest percentage you guys agreed to?
29 or 34 or something like that.
No, I mean, it was 32.
32.
32?
Yeah. I feel like you're thinking there's a bigger number, but no, it's definitely like 32.
That's still a ridiculous number.
Yeah, dude. Imagine, I remember when we took that loan for 90 grand, and we were paying back like 100 for like 20 something. Crazy, dude. It was just, and they were taking out daily payments. I mean, like.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, like, what was it? So it was 90K and it was like 117 payback. We paid it off in a year, 12 months. Yeah.
Which is
and
actually
pulled
a
out
feat.
5 days a week. They pulled out. It wasn't a monthly payment. They took out. It was $600 a day that we had to pay back. Yo, talk about like
like 500.
I remember when we paid it off. I'm
anxiety.
still shocked about it. Like sometimes that account is growing, and I'm like, dang, that's so weird. Why aren't they taking out money? You know, is this what an account is supposed to look like?
That I think that one was like.
So what would your guys' advice be in terms of you need money? Okay, here's the thing. Like, obviously, money isn't the thing that holds you back in business most of the time. But there is a point an inflection point when you need capital. What would your advice be? Like, would you do the same thing now?
Yes.
If you do the exact same thing?
I would 100% do the exact same thing.
Phil doesn't agree.
I would buy more printers.
Okay, so how would you buy more printers?
How
if
would
there's
you
a
buy
money
more
issue?
printer? No, you would take out the same loans.
You know what we did with them loans. I'm not gonna say it, but bro, we just did dumb things. Like we would take. The first time I remember we were both ecstatic. It was like $40,000. I'm not gonna say
the first loan was 10 grand, and it was on your car because we put a lien on it. Remember? You're not even counting that.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like official.
That was crazy.
From entering our information. I think it was like 25K.
Yeah.
Since we didn't pay ourselves for such a long time, we were like, man,
we gotta get some.
We
money.
need a cut.
That's about time.
We need a cut. So we took out this loan for 25K. And 5K went to the business.
No.
We're
like, homie's got to get paid.
Not 5K.
Bottle service.
7K.
Really?
I think we took out like $2,000 each or something like that.
Okay, but like you got to understand, we took out a loan for 25K. We cannot afford to take 5K and give it to ourselves. No. I mean, like it was just bad, you know. And we did that a couple times, and like just dumb. You know, and it's not like we didn't take it out of the loan. We had that money.
Yeah, but no, and the thing is, it's not like, looking back at it, like we needed the money. Plus, we did use it for business purposes. Obviously, paying yourself is a business purpose.
That's right.
But
the boss has to get to work somehow. The boss got to eat good.
No, but I'm just saying, like, there was loans, man, that like, honestly, we were just approved. So we're like, hey, let's take it.
There was definitely loans that we shouldn't have taken. So my piece of advice, if you need money, I'm a prideful person. I think Phil's a little prideful. I definitely wouldn't ask anybody.
You wouldn't go friends and family?
No,
absolutely.
Never.
Okay, no. Maybe you. Maybe not you. But
no,
do you foresee any situation?
No.
Never.
Okay. I mean, like, dude, it's not worth the relationship.
If it's like $500, hey, quick spot, whatever. But if it's like $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, never. No, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, and it's not just a pride thing. I mean, like, dude, like,
it's a relationship thing. Yeah,
it's big time.
And by $500, I don't mean like I'm calling you, asking you, hey, can you spot me 500? It's like, hey, bro, something happened. I'm in a tough spot or something. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, the thing is, like, I've heard this story way too many times. If you're gonna, and I'm not against, borrowing money from friends or family, or even borrowing or having people borrow money from me. But the one thing is honesty. It's like, hey, if you need the money, tell me why you need it. Why are you in this position that you need it? Okay, you got laid off. Okay, you're in a tough spot. That's understandable. I'm not going to require you to pay me back, right? Like, obviously, there's payback going to be involved. But when it comes to a lot of times giving money to friends or family, it's always like, here's this 500. I'm going to get you at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the month, it's like, hey, let me get you next month. It's like, bro, if you told me you need 6 months from the beginning, there would have never been an issue. That's fine. I gave you the money. I'm going to forget about it.
Yeah.
But you told me
Yeah.
a month. You told me 6 months.
Yeah, for sure. I would say I would do my mistakes that I made, like that we made as a company. I would do them again. We learned so much from them, like honestly, and like that the stuff that we learned. I mean, like it's good stuff, and it's not something like the one thing like I learned really quickly is I'm the kind of person that has to experience it, and I'm gonna learn from that experience. Someone telling me isn't gonna be good enough. I have to make those mistakes myself, and in those mistakes, like it came out better. I learned a lot. I was able to do that. Like, so like any advice, I mean, like number one, be very frugal with the loans you take. Be very, 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 very frugal. There's a lot of people that want you to take their money. There's a lot of them. You just got to look. So if you don't need it, and I think that was our mistake, I think that maybe like 2 or 3 loans. I mean, like, and you got to understand, we probably, we've been just like about 5 years in business now, 4.5 years in business, and we've probably taken like, I want to say like 20 plus loans, about, you think less?
Yeah.
Less? Okay. Maybe 15 loans, about 15 loans. But honestly, like 5 of those were not needed. They were just like, oh, we got approved and we're going to take them. And we shafted ourselves that way, and it's because like we wanted just to have the account sitting fat,
Right.
One thing you got to get used to in a business, that account is going to fluctuate like there's no tomorrow. I mean, it's not like your sitting account. It's not your savings account. It's not your investment account. Like that account, money in, money out, that's just how it is, money from that account to my account,
Yeah, imagine it being a trading account, but it's an options trading account.
Yeah, Phil knows all about
We're not
that.
even gonna get into any
But,
of that
you
both
right
know a
now.
little bit
Just
about
know-
that, huh?
Yeah, that's painful.
But my advice would be, if you need it, if you need the loan, take it. If you know you can make money off of it, do it. Like,
Yeah, there's
no hesitation, no doubt.
You better
Hey,
make at least 33% if you're taking a 30% loan.
No, well, yeah, obviously. Look, a lot of times, like and I'm not saying I haven't fallen victim to this too, but a lot of times it's like, man, I'm gonna take out a loan. I'm gonna go buy a new car. I'm gonna go do something like that. And like, it's so cliche because you hear these YouTube or TikTok videos. It's like, don't buy this, buy that.
This ain't the PPP. You can't be doing that.
Yeah,
no,
no,
more,
but
you know what I'm saying.
But the thing is, like, you gotta weigh your pros and cons. It's like, hey, I'm taking out this much money. I have to pay this much money back.
Right.
Am I gonna buy something that I know I can make money off of, or am I gonna buy something that is a liability that I'm just gonna have to pay for?
Right. So yeah, I feel like those loans, like that was the difficult part. But like, so up until now, just kind of keep your guys' story moving along. Where are we at? You said you're about 5 years in. Where are we at? Where are we 2.5? I think, or are we at 3? Because how long have you guys been in this warehouse as of now? Because let's say we've moved.
Just about 3 years. I want to say where we're at in the story is a year.
2.5.
No, it's year 1.5.
You're already in the 3rd warehouse by the 2nd year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just said our business is 4 years and 4 months old.
Yeah, we moved into that other warehouse in 2019.
Yeah. So crazy stuff like
we just renewed our lease.
Yeah. So
Renewed our lease.
we moved into this warehouse that we're in now, doubled up on the space. When we moved in, it was at 5,000. Now we're about 11,000, 12,000 square feet. But yeah, we moved in kind of like on a limb. It was a space we saw way back when. I remember looking at it and we're like, nah, this is just dreaming, But we ended up getting it, and like we definitely went on a limb. We couldn't afford it. But we were betting and we were trying to get on Amazon. And that's when a huge shift happened. I mean, that year we finished out doing 490,000, 497,000. And then year 2019, I think it was, the first month we got onto Amazon Renewed, we finally met all their guidelines. We were making enough. We were showing enough. We showed that we were actually refurbishers, and we're not like just saying refurbished. We were rebuilding printers. And that was a huge shifting point, you know. And it's like that whole joke, Amazon pays my bills, is facts, though. You know, Amazon does pay my bills. So
Amazon pays our bills.
Yeah.
I bought my house because of Amazon.
that's right.
You know what I think is like a hidden part that I feel like nobody will even ever know unless it's mentioned here, is the process of getting to that renewed. Like, because like, and you guys know a little bit about that again. I mean, can I mention what you guys just got into?
Sure. If not, we'll cut it. But yeah,
Getting HP certified.
Yeah, you can talk about that. Yeah,
right.
We're not gonna talk about how
that didn't happen.
We're not gonna talk about how to get on renewed.
Oh, you're talking about becoming a Microsoft authorized refurbisher.
Microsoft, sorry, not HP. I'm ahead. I'm way even ahead.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Microsoft. So the process, because it's not like just meet some guidelines. There's like certain quotas you have to hit. There's certain like.
This is for Amazon you're talking about, right?
Well, I mean, even that process, what would be your advice on that? And then even just talk about that a little bit of like, because that was terrible. I feel like for months you guys were talking about it.
Yeah, stop hitting the table. Greg keeps writing. You just did it when you said apologist. So the process in what do you mean, like getting approved?
Well, yeah, because I feel like every single day that was like the chokehold on your guys' business, because eBay can only get you so far. You guys weren't selling on your website as much. Amazon,
we didn't even have a website at that time.
Getting that Amazon.
The one thing is like, okay, with certifications, do things right. Like my main thing is like, okay, hey, if you're looking, like for example, in our situation, you know, where we were trying to get approved to sell on Amazon Renewed program, awesome program, great idea. And I loved the fact that they had so many requirements, because it means, hey, we're not going to just let anybody on. We're not going to let any mom and pop shops on. You have to show us how you pack. Like literally for us to get approved, they had to like our packaging. We had to have good boxes. If we were trying to do peanuts, they wouldn't have approved us, you know? So we had to have good boxes. We had to show that we were spending, I think it was like at least $10,000 every 3 months on parts to replace printers, you know? So my thing is like, dude,
how much?
I think it was 10 grand every 3 months.
Oh, I thought it was 25.
That was invoices of products purchased. So yeah, you had to show that you were buying every 3 months 25 grand, you know? So we're out here sweating about paying rent for $3,000, you know? Now we have to show that we're buying 25 racks, and our margins were pretty good, you know? So like 25K of printers is a lot of printers. But the biggest thing is like in anything you're going to be doing, like in any kind of certifications, if you're everyone wants to see that you're doing the highest possible quality that you can, you know? So just start that from the beginning. Do things by the book. Like that's the one thing, like Phil and I, from the very get-go, we wanted to make sure we're doing everything by the book. We're paying our taxes. We're not scamming people. We're not lying to people, you know? Like it's honesty. You're doing things right from the start, you know? Don't play games. You're just going to hurt yourself in the long run.
Yeah, if anyone is ever long-term focused, they're going to realize that those corners that you cut, it's actually going to end up shafting you later on. Yeah. Even the small things, man, like think about it. We sell units that are, I mean, they range from $50 or $100 to $3,000, you know? So like, and the thing is, we can sell however many in a month, right? Let's say 500 or 1,000. Is $300 worth us getting shut down? You know what I mean? And the thing is, like, that's what we ran into a lot of times. We don't have any money, or we have very little money. There's something that comes up. We have to pay someone back. Well, what do? You know, we can not pay them back, but then we can run the risk of losing the account. But we're sitting there like, hey, we're not focused for the end of the week. That's why we didn't pay ourselves for such a long time. You know, our main focus was, hey, let's put all of our money, all of our chips are in this, you know? So like the money that we have is gonna be the money that we're gonna use.
Do you even remember? I think it was the first or second year, but I remember we had that conversation. Hey, if we're not making money this year, like if it doesn't work out by the end of this year, we're both out. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
That one was rough.
I think you guys floated the idea, but I thought you guys was too deep. I never believed you guys when you were saying that.
Yeah, but
it was hard, bro.
But the thing is, like, you know, one thing that I hate thinking about is we had the opportunity to have, instead of 6,000 square feet, we could have moved right into 10,000 square feet. And and the reason why we didn't was because it was, instead of $3,000 a month, it was going to be $5,000 a month.
Yeah.
And
can't really tell that to everybody though. Don't take all the space you can. I mean, we were just
But
growing like no tomorrow.
is,
You know?
You guys were at warehouse 3 though at this point.
Yeah.
Like that's
But the thing is, like,
Annoying.
if I could
Moving
go,
is expensive.
yeah, but if I could go back in time, you're telling me you wouldn't want it, bro. I would take that spot,
Yeah, of course.
100%.
But like, think about young Ilya and young Phil holding on to the bootstraps. Like, man, stressing about 3K. You think we're gonna be worrying about 5,000?
Talking about a roller coaster, man.
you guys were
Oh my
worried about
goodness.
filling the warehouse.
Yeah,
Like,
that warehouse got filled the same week we moved.
Yeah,
in.
I think so. I think
Yeah,
at that point
it was
quick.
it was rough. I have pictures on my phone of it before we even moved in fully. I was climbing on top of printers all the way into the back to take.
Were you?
Yeah,
Oh,
climbing
shit.
on top of pallets, with safety harnesses, and I'm like standing all the way in the back, and I'm like recording, you know, and it was like so surreal to me. And now it's like we have 11,000 square feet, and
You know, during this podcast, if there's a way to like, I don't know if you guys have some picture, just toss it up.
Jamie, pull that up.
Jamie, pull that up.
But,
That'd be cool.
I have
feel
I
feel
have
there's
pictures of the
some.
first warehouse. I have.
Those things
Yeah.
are just.
But man, it was. I mean, we had 4 employees now because we hired Yuri.
Yeah, I don't know how many employees we had then. I don't remember.
Yuri, Alina, Jacob, and Val. Yeah.
Okay, so let's like kind of pushing it forward. What from moving in, obviously, and getting there and you know, figuring things out, because you guys built you guys built a tech room, built a cleaning room.
Yeah.
You just built another tech room at this point.
Moving probably cost us around.
What was your biggest expense?
$40,000.
Not just in moving, but like what was the biggest single expense in the warehouse? Was it product? Was it the new setup? Was it
pallet racking. Probably.
Pallet racking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much you guys pay for pallet racking?
I think it was like 7 to 10K.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then like the thing is, it was like really adding up because like at the same time, like we were also like building those rooms, as you said, a tech room, a cleaning room. We remodeled the office, you know, stuff like. Because when we moved into that place, I mean, like, it was horrible. It had water damage. It stank like mold, you know, like there was like a mezzanine in the middle of it. Like there was a lot of stuff that we had to do, you know, but like we saw that vision for the warehouse, you know, and we started building it. But I think we blew through like, I want to say $60,000-$70,000 within like 3 months on just like moving expenses. Like it was brutal. I think that was one of we took a terrible loan, like $100,000 loan. And we just blew through that money like there was no tomorrow. And it wasn't like on like products. It was just on moving. It sucked.
Yeah, it was crazy to think that we were moving in town and we spent that much money on moving, and then also opportunity costs, because we basically shut down. Like we were still shipping out units here or there, but like,
did you guys get shut down? Didn't you guys actually get because of the move?
No. We avoided that by volunteer.
Okay.
Yeah, by us doing it. But yeah, once we got over there, I think that really is when we shifted gears, because we got unlocked on Amazon, and then yeah,
I think we went on that year. We did. Was it 1.1 or 1.2 million?
I didn't think we hit mil.
Yeah, and
We did.
yeah, that year. Did we?
Thought it was like 900, or like we were just a little shy.
You're right. I think we hit like 700 or 800, and then the year after that is when we hit the first time we hit like a mil.
Yep.
Okay, and then so where are you guys in terms of and this is so in terms of employees, because managing people, because you guys both had to step into not like a technician, because both of you guys were technicians for the longest time, doing everything, figuring everything out, how to, you know, clients, all that stuff, and you know, processes and stuff. How was the shift from moving from that to now focusing on now we can't handle any of this, and we have to now start, you know, getting at that work base or workforce. Where did you guys find those employees? How, you know, based off of what, you know?
A lot of those first employees were just referral based, which is amazing. If you're gonna hire anyone, make it be from word of mouth, because like hiring,
especially in 2022, I mean, hiring right now is hard, you know.
Right.
And we're lucky to have the team that we have right now.
How many employees are you guys running at right now?
25.
25.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
something.
I think we were at like 6 or 7 when we hit whatever 700K, or maybe it was just 5. But yeah, it's crazy because it kind of all just escalated so fast. You know, it went from, hey, we have a bunch of techs, now we need a cleaner, but now we need someone to do warehouse. Now we need this, now we need that, and it just kind of,
yeah, like nobody really anticipates that. Like that's not something you actually hear, dude. Growing pains is painful, you know.
Yeah.
Growing pains is expensive, you know. Like I think even in this year we're kind of paying for growing expenses because it's like we've pretty much every year we've been in business we've doubled.
yeah.
First year 99, second year 500, third year
That's
a
5x.
million, you know. Yeah, like
That's the first year. That first to 99 to 500. That was
and I mean, like you got to understand, like if you're moving more product, I mean, you have more expenses with that,
Right.
more employees. So like the growing pains from all of that was brutal, you know. And like I don't want to say it set us back, but like in order for us to grow that fast, it definitely like took a toll on the quick financial game, you know.
Right.
Like there definitely wasn't an excess of cash at the time.
So what was the first, I mean, unless there's something else you guys want to add in, but what was the first, I'd be interested in, what was the first year where you guys like had your first breath of fresh air? I understand business is always, you know, a cutthroat kind of game, but what was the first time where you're like, I finally, like we might have like actually made it a little bit, like at the very least I can breathe.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think it was last year.
We say that as a joke, but
Last year was the first year we actually profited.
yeah.
That's crazy. Like
yeah.
to go through that much.
Either year 2, I think we lost like 70 grand, you know. But
Wow.
like, and like, you know, like mentally that was hard because
Yeah.
like we had to be like, okay, why are we in such a like negative? Like, why did we lose so much money, you know? And like, are we not profiting? But we had to understand that, hey, like it's because we made these investments and they're going to pay off in the next year and they're going to pay off, you know? And then like this last year, you know, we were able to profit well into this 6 figures, you know? So like that was a huge breath of fresh air, I think, for us, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And this year is going pretty great.
yeah, this year's
that's good
going
to hear.
amazing. Praise God. But one of the things I want to mention is there's this sigh of relief, right, at a certain point, but in the same moment, you still need to realize that no matter who you are, no matter where you're at, you're still just a few moves away from throwing it away. And I think that's the craziest thing. Like looking back at our whole journey, how many moves we made that we didn't really realize were actually as important as they were. Like there were things that we did that if we did it differently, we wouldn't be here having this conversation. And I think that's probably the most humbling like realization. Like, hey, the things we did them why we did them. We did them why we did them. I don't know what I was trying to say there, but
Right.
it got us to this place, you know? And like, I don't know.
Really got to trust the process, like in what you're doing, you know, like mistakes happen, you know, but like take that with a grain of salt. Like there's a lot to learn from those mistakes, but like you really got to like trust the process of what you're doing and like I think one huge thing about having a business or running a small business in any way is like being focused on your vision, you know, having that vision, you know, where do you see your company? What do you want from it? You know, like, are you in it just to get wealthy? Yes.
Yes.
No, but like real talk. There was a mistake once. It cost
one
Just
mistake.
run.
It cost us $100,000.
Y'all want to know this mistake?
Oh yeah. Get into that.
All right,
Get into that. This was put it in
2 years
timeline.
ago.
This was already at the third warehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of employees. I mean, I think we had like 10 employees at the time.
Okay.
And it was such a dumb mistake. I wouldn't even call like
Well,
basically like
If you hear what caused it, you're gonna be like, what?
yeah, I don't actually want to say because I don't know if I can get in trouble for saying it. But we ended up changing like our financial institution. And it was against the rules, I guess, to change that financial institution with the vendor that we were selling. So they shut us down, suspended us, and they were like, hey, this is fraudulent activity. And we ended up, this was like at that time, like 90% of our sales came from this place. And so like, boom, just like that, an entire month of us, I don't even know how we made it through.
Yeah.
Like,
so,
because we didn't cut employees. We didn't cut anything. We just kept going. We're like, well, it is what it is. We're gonna write it out.
Yeah.
And
Anxiety levels through the roof.
yeah, that May 2020,
Yeah. It was
2019, I think.
It was
May
right
2019.
2019.
Yeah,
It was
2020
right,
was
right before your birthday. It
Yeah.
got opened up.
it opened on my birthday.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they shut
That's
us
a good
down,
gift.
and at that time I think we were doing like probably like 90,000 a month in sales, so it was closed from all of May to like half
Yeah.
of June, and it was so painful. And I think that's when we took some loans too, and I would never take a loan if I see my company failing, but I think that's just, we had the vision for the company. We believed in our company so much that we were like, we're going all in,
Yeah,
like,
and
this is it.
That was the first. I think that January was the first time we actually broke 7 figures, 6 figures.
Which January?
The
It happened
2020.
in May.
I know, but I'm saying like that year.
Oh, that year. No, I think we broke.
6
My
figures.
sales in
yeah,
a month.
on Amazon. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got
And
you.
it just happened. We're like, yo, this is legit. And then because they didn't like the numbers, they shut it off. They shut it down. And the way this company shuts it down,
It was a genuine mistake. We did something wrong. I mean, we take
Yeah, no,
responsibility
yeah.
for it. It was told to us not to do this, but I was just like, no, there's no way, and I did it anyway. And
yeah, well, we were 100% fault for liability reasons. We have to admit this. But yeah, we were 100%
Yeah,
at
Amazon's
fault.
watching.
But what happens when your account gets shut down is you have, so the way Amazon does
Suspended,
their the payout is they pay you out every 2 weeks just because, it's a liability. If they're going to give you money, then someone claims you, then they have to take money
like if
back
there's
from you.
returns and stuff like that,
Yeah.
so they're
Right.
playing it safe.
Yeah, so I understand why they do that. But when your account gets suspended, that money is in limbo.
Yeah, so we had
So-
$100,000 locked up, I think.
Yeah, we had that money.
Oh,
We
Like,
had
not
that.
dispersed, nothing. I mean,
we
they're
had-
holding it.
That money locked up for the whole month. We had no money. And then also opportunity cost of the sales of the whole month
right.
being down. And we didn't cut anyone. We told everyone that,
It was that week because we
Uh,
had a friend come into town and we went to go eat at a restaurant, and it was that week that we're like, hey, like at the end of this week, we're cutting down everything, like employees got to go. We can't afford this anymore. Like, we're bleeding. Like, we're not just bleeding, we're gushing blood out.
Right.
hard. And it was hard because like the month before we were finally sitting there like, man, we're going to make so much money.
Yeah. Really
And
screwed up
then-
our year there. That was the year that we
Yeah.
actually lost $70,000.
Yeah,
we
that
got
was it.
humbled.
That was
We
the
got
one.
humbled real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably was the year.
Yeah, dude, I just remember like we fasted about it. Like, we were praying, like it was just hard, I didn't know what to do.
One thing that you mentioned, both of you guys have mentioned about this, but I don't think you guys have said it, is you talk about vision, right? Like the getting, like actually getting through this just crap that you guys have had to go through, just had to, right? You had to eat it.
Mhm.
And then when things got good, you still had to eat it, right? So in terms of vision, right? In terms of why, and it's a huge reason why this podcast even exists. That vision, that purpose, what was that for you guys? Because you guys were when you started, and another thing, did it change? Like as things were growing, did the reasons change why you did what you did? Or talk about that.
So I know one vision that we had from the very beginning is we wanted to actually create it's crazy, man, so noble now that I think about it. But like, I know we wanted to create a workplace, where like, so I came from a workplace that was super toxic. So I remember saying like, oh man, like if we ever get to a place where we have employees, first of all, I want to be able to like employ people like in my community and somewhere they're comfortable, where they actually enjoy the job and they're not just saying, oh yeah, this is a great job because the boss is asking,
Right.
And like, I feel like a lot of people say that, but like, honestly, I can say that I want to say that 90% at least of the employees that work at White Spider really enjoy working there, really enjoy the environment, So that was a huge thing, was to create an actual like awesome work environment for people to be, show them like, hey, like you can work somewhere and you can not hate your life, So that was a huge thing. And like another thing, like just kind of vision was like, man, I just really hated being under the thumb of somebody. Like, I just couldn't stand the fact that like somebody's going to control my paycheck. And then like it clicked for me that like there's no difference between the risk I'm taking as somebody starting my own business versus the risk of me working for some company. That company that I actually worked for, they closed down like 2 years ago. Everybody got laid off there. You know what I'm saying? But like, if I can go out and I can do something on my own and I can make money and I can be my own boss and I can do
Right.
things that make me happy, you know. And I'm so happy that I did, because it like really helped me fulfill who I am as a man, you know, like
Nice.
even being a business owner. But like, I just realized that like the fact that like, hey, whether I'm working for someone or for myself, the risk is the same, because if that's someone, like I'm putting my faith in someone that their business is gonna do good, versus putting faith in myself, you know, and my skills, you know, and my talents, you know, and of my capability to make that happen, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that was a huge thing. I was like, dude, like either way, you know, like
Right. You're taking a risk anyway.
yeah. And so like
Interesting.
I definitely, I was like, okay, you know, whatever it is, what it is, I'd rather just, I put more faith in myself than the CEO that I don't even know, you know.
Right.
So
Was that
yeah.
you? Was that you too? Did you have because you talked about, you know, not wanting to work for someone again. Was there a different reason, a bigger reason?
Yeah, that was there, but I think he touched up on why. The bigger reason for me was just to create an opportunity for people. I don't know why I just had this mindset where, you know, if someone is able to enjoy working for you
Right.
and they're profitable, right? They're making you money,
Right.
and you can get multiple people working for you that enjoy working for you, that can make you money.
You add value into their life, into their into who they are.
You know, so it's like we're not, as a company, I know this is gonna sound super cliche, but like we're not just selling a product. Obviously we're selling the product, we're selling the service and things like that, but also we're providing something greater for these people, you know. And like there's even, you know, the opportunities that we have even in our community, you know, with having people there that obviously they don't know English that well because we're Slavic, but like they don't know English that well. They would have a hard time working anywhere else, you know. The fact that we were able to be lenient with them, you know, and it's like those, even though it doesn't seem like a big deal, you know, but when you work at a corporate facility, like you used to work there, you can't even take a break without them breathing down your neck, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
And like one thing I wanted to add in about our vision, our vision, like honestly, I don't think we went into, like, we obviously went into it being like, hey, like we want to be well off, you know, we want to be able to make money and stuff like that. Like I'm not gonna lie and say, hey, like, no, I never wanted to make money. No, I didn't want to have any.
Well, you
kind
want
of
freedom.
Yeah,
You know, you can't,
financial freedom.
You
And
couldn't
like,
get that without that. Yeah.
and like that's the thing. Like I came from a huge family. You know, I have 7 other siblings. You know, 8 of us total. You know, and my parents did an amazing job. You know, amazing job raising us. You know, but like there's so many of us. You know, I wasn't able to like. I didn't come from a wealthy background. You know, I probably came from like a poor middle class, like.
No, it was definitely lower class.
Yeah, so like, you know, like I realized like really early on, like if I wanted something,
Not in a bad way. I'm just saying.
Hold on. Y'all paid for lunch in school?
No,
I was on that
never.
free lunch program.
bro, you know what I'm saying,
I had that
bro.
blue sticker, man.
that's right, that
I was like-
reduced lunch, bro.
That's what
It
I'm
wasn't even
saying.
reduced. It was free. They say
Dang.
free or reduced. I knew I was never the or.
Dang, y'all
I was
low.
It was low. It was all that immigrant,
Yeah.
you know.
But no, like I knew that if I ever wanted anything in life, like, you know, I had to earn it, you know, even from like I said, when I was 15 years old, you know, selling this stuff, I knew if I wanted a phone or if I wanted shoes or if I wanted some jeans from American Eagle, I mean, like that was the stuff. I had to go out and earn the money and buy it for myself, you know. And I never held it against my parents or anything like that. You know, they did amazing. I had a roof over my head. I had food and clothing, you know, and, you know, like even thanks to them, because it gave me this hunger, you know, to be successful, you know. But like, I know when we started, like, obviously one of those things was like to not have to worry about money, you know, and like, we're there, you know, like I'm not in a place where I worry about a lot of financial things, you know, but like there's definitely like another big reason was like I remember saying that we wanted to be able to like create opportunities like from what we believe, like we wanted to be able to sponsor missionaries and sponsor like people, you know, to go and like serve the Lord and help people in these third world countries, you know, and like what better way to provide those opportunities than like I'm talented in the marketplace. I know how to I know how to run and operate a business. I know how to make that money. So why not use those talents and those skills that I have to be able to be like, hey, like your passion is in serving people. You know, you want to go to these countries. You want to serve people. You know, let me provide you the finances to be able to do that. I mean, somebody's gotta, you know. And so like
actually making an impact with your everyday. You know what I mean? Like
and
that's
I'm good at it.
and
You know,
it's
so
and
it's
it's
like,
hard to do if you are that employee. Not that it's impossible. You know what I mean? But it's definitely a whole different thing. Obviously, if you're not, you know, if you're working for somebody, that is.
Yeah. So that
Yeah, and like obviously creating a product or creating a service that's like necessary is huge. But like even right now, I don't know about for you, but for me, like if I won the lottery, right? If I was sitting with what's the lottery at right now? 200. If I was sitting with $100 million,
$184 million. I
Nice.
literally drove by it today.
you're a gambler.
Uh,
How many lotto tickets did you buy?
I've never bought one. I've never bought a
because I
small
have
ticket
I have
my
4 in my
life.
pocket right
I
now.
have bought lottery
I have
tickets for
never
sure
bought a lottery
before.
ticket in my life.
I can't go to the gas station without buying one. But, I'm playing without buying.
I've
two.
bought two.
But anyways,
Yeah, you guys didn't see what his fingers were no, but
no, but real talk. It's like if I had $100 million, what would I do? Right? I always bounce this question around with my wife. Like, what would I do? What would I change? You know, and obviously there's a lot more opportunity that I would have, right? And I would do other things with it. But as far as my day to day, right? Like, I'm not gonna sell the company. I'm gonna buy out all the other printer companies, and I'm gonna make them work for me.
that's right.
Like, no, like honestly, and as much as it's like there's days where it sucks. You know, your stress tolerance is, man, I never even thought I'd be dealing with the stuff that I'm dealing with. But like, it's so enjoyable. You know, it's
Right.
like one of those things where like you look back at those hard times, and it's like they're still fond memories, which is so crazy to say
Right.
because like even we're talking about it, and like I remember when I took that lean out against the car, talking about anxiety attack. I'm sitting there like, man, I just shafted myself, you know. And now we're over here, you know, paying our employees. Like, I'm not gonna talk about exactly how much we pay them, but like, I never thought I'd be paying someone that much. Like,
I
Right.
definitely don't think we underpay them.
Right. Well, yeah. There's. I'll let you guys go into that if you guys want to. But what I would actually want to, I mean, unless there's something you guys want to dive in on, I want to know.
I just want to
plans.
say that if I won the lottery, Phil, I'd give you like at least $500.
I'd
bro.
give you at least $5,000
$500
out of my generosity.
100%. What I would probably, and I mean, we don't have to wrap up, but I think it's, you guys are now where you're at, right? And there's a billion little details, and we could talk about this all day. But in terms of, future thinking, right? Because your vision got you here, right? Does the vision hasn't necessarily changed? Has anything changed in terms of purpose, in terms of why I do what I do? And then in that vision, in that purpose, what's your plan? And you don't have to go technical on like market outlook and whatnot, but what is your plan of 5, 10, 15, where do you see White Spider Electronics as, or you can even get into the name, I don't care, just take it how you want, but.
Well, I mean, like, the vision hasn't changed all that much. The one thing that I personally accepted pretty early on was I definitely wanted to always be pretty involved in the company. I don't like the disconnect between employee and boss, because I definitely want to cultivate the next generation. I definitely want, like, to raise superstars in my company, like out of White Spider Electronics, I want entrepreneurs to come out. I want entrepreneurs to come out. I want to be able to provide opportunity for people to make it in life. You know what I mean? Like, so like that's something that I work for. Like, if I see talent, if I see someone that's hungry, like I want to be able to be giving them the opportunity to thrive, to grow. But I mean, it's changed a little bit. Like versus our company. Like one thing that like I do have a different, like, more of a, like, kind of desire, if we're just talking about, like, not financial, but, like, company-wise. Like, I want to take this market, like, in the market that where we're refurbishing electronics and stuff like that. I want to take it over completely, especially because I know a lot of the players in the game, and it sucks to know that, like, the kind of customer service, the kind of, like, things that they do with people is horrible, and it gives a bad rep to like our industry, and stuff like that. So that's something I do want to completely cultivate and change. I want to be a world leader in that. I love the fact that, like, yes, our products aren't new and stuff like that, but we, in a way, like, as corny as it is, we are helping the environment. We're re-putting those things into the market. We're helping the world economy, and, like, dude, like, I also don't want to be screwing people over like I see so many people doing. So it's like my vision has changed a little bit where, yes, there's more of a like, okay, what do I want for the grand scheme of the company? But it's definitely not something I'm trying to build just for my lifetime. It's something that I'm trying to build for the generations and generations to come. You know, like how am I going to impact this world? How am I going to impact the generations, you know, farther than me, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And that actually goes into one of the most, like, you look at any industry, right? Do they sell a product or do they sell a service?
Yeah, and like to touch on that, like our reviews, like if anybody looks us up, we have such high reviews for our customer service.
And by the way, you should just go visit their website and products and everything. Just
That's
rate
right.
them 5 stars.
www.whitespiderelectronics.com.
New, new merch every week. But no, like, what are you selling? Are you selling a product or are you selling a service? You know,
selling a service.
and that's the thing. I think a lot of people don't realize that. It's like, oh well, how do I sell this? How do I sell that? It's like, well, people want something, right? They can buy it wherever. Why do you stand out? Why are people going to be buying it from you?
What's your competitive edge, like in terms of, you know?
Honestly, I think it's our service and the way that we value and the way we treat our printers.
I would put our company up against some of the best companies in any industry in the entire world for customer service.
Entire world.
100%.
Entire world.
100%, bro.
You know why? Because we have
Why?
a heart. Because we care about the customer. Like, as corny as it is, as cheesy it is, we care about the people we do. And that obviously goes back to our morals and our principles and our beliefs, you know, but we care about the person that's getting our product, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like, and like that goes even back into like the vision, you know. If you try to make that quick buck and you try to sell a lemon product, you're not going to last in the industry very long.
100%.
Because people will remember, you know, the best thing that's going to go for the longest is referrals, you know, stuff like that. So it's like, I know that if I'm putting my best foot forward all the time, if I'm always going above and beyond for the customer, that customer is going to be a repeat customer and they're going to bring on a person. That person's going to bring on a person, you know, and it's just customer service. You have good customer service. No matter what you're selling, you're going to sell it good and you're going to have.
Good point.
Yeah. Like honestly, service is key.
Right.
Yeah. You know, because there, no matter what, I mean, obviously everything's transactional, you know, and it's like you're buying something, you're getting something out of it. But like, when that something goes wrong, you want something more out of it, you know? Like you need someone to fix it, or you need something else, you know? And the fact that we're able to actually do that and actually value it, like, I'm not going to bring up anyone else, but dude, a lot of these sellers, I'm not even going to say sellers, a lot of these companies, man, the stuff I've heard, like
Nightmares.
There was this woman once, she told me how much she paid for this unit. She paid like $1,000 for it. The unit's worth like $200.
Yeah.
She was crying because she went in debt to her son to buy this unit. And I'm sitting there and she's like, yeah, he told me it was this. And I'm like legit without words. Like, I get being a shark, right? You gotta make money. You gotta do something. But the reason why I value what we do is because we're saving people money, and we're also obviously like we're profiting off of it. Like
right.
You wouldn't be doing it if you're not.
Exactly.
But we're able to do it in a way where we're helping people and we're also saving the money. You know.
Yeah.
And like a lot of companies, they don't care. They just want your money. That's a huge selling point. You know. And no matter what market you're in, like what are you providing that's better than the competition?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. In my opinion, like we're. The other day someone called, you know, and they're asking like, oh, how come you're selling your units at this price? Like, are they even rebuilt? Are they even remanufactured? What do you do with it? You know, these other companies are selling it for this much more, you know.
And obviously we're not trying to we're not scraping the market, you know, like we're right in the middle, you know.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's like we don't want to price gouge, but like also like, man, I think we're fair. I think, hey, this is what we charge hourly. This is what we charge for the parts. This is all this stuff. You want to buy this unit from us?
Yeah.
It's going to be rebuilt with quality.
Right.
It's going to be sent out with care. And then the follow-up service is going to be phenomenal. You know, it's not going to be, hey, one and done, you're out, you know, buy it and quit it, whatever it is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's going to be something that's going to last. And like, in my opinion, I feel like that's what makes us stand out.
Yeah, for sure.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. That I actually, not that I'm biased, of course, but like the stories I hear of the customer service calls are actually like just next level because like
straight therapy sessions.
Yeah, like Phil should be a licensed therapist,
That-
100%. I mean, like I remember when you were FaceTiming a woman crying, and he was diagnosing a printer that she had, not our printer, but
just
like,
some printer.
Yeah, and like it was her husband's funeral, and she's
my goodness.
bawling, and Phil's on the phone with her. I mean, Philip, the
That's
owner of the
dedication.
company, on the phone with her, and he's like, "I'm gonna help you. Let me get a printer to you." If
I know,
anything."
I know, man, but like totally true, 100% true.
I'm
Like,
not trying to one up it, but her husband's funeral and then her brother's funeral, they're right together because they died 2 weeks apart.
oh my goodness,
Brutal.
Bro, she's on the phone. She's like, I bought this unit for however much. It's not working. And she's crying. I'm sitting there and like at first I didn't realize she was crying.
Oh my goodness.
And then like later, like I saw her face. I'm like, I was on the
And
phone
that's
with
the
her
thing.
for like 2 hours.
Your product impacts someone's life that much. Can you imagine that? Like,
and not necessarily
you send someone a bad product,
right,
and there's people that are just going through it, and this is another L in their life.
right.
Like,
100%, 100%.
how do you sleep at night? Like knowing that like you're selling lemons, huh? You know who you are now, fine.
No, but like you could like the aspect of like not necessarily again like what you guys are saying. It's not even the product. It's that you have an opportunity to maybe your product will not be a great thing in their life. Maybe it will. Maybe it's a printer or an electronic or whatever. But the fact that you were able to encounter that person through your product, like what kind of impact can you actually make in there? Again, you're not trying to change someone's life here, or
Yeah.
not trying to have a therapy session, but you can have a positive impact beyond your product, you know, if they just purchase it, you know what I mean? It's not like, it's one of those things that is a value in your company that shows through, you know, how you do anything is how you do everything, and it shows.
Yes,
you know?
yes, 100%. But like also think of it like this. You go to the store, the clerk at the store gives you a tone. It's going to ruin your day.
Yeah.
You go to the DMV, the lady at the DMV is giving you attitude. Bro, you're going to be like, man, what's up? You know, what's up with her? You know, so like with us, it's like, man, you're already dealing with people who are on edge. They just spent a lot of money on this unit and they're, you know, so it's like the first thing you need to do is calm them down.
Yeah, and like
You
you
know?
gotta understand, printers like are always in those videos where they're getting smashed to bits. So you work in a category where people are
People ready to smash your product.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
bro, for real.
You know?
You know, we did that once, bro. We got a bat and just went to town, man. Like
hated our own, bro. No, fine.
But bro, there's this one woman. I remember she was having some issues with her unit. So, man, this is like Saturday night or something like that. She's calling me, like, "Hey, all right, I got it fixed, right? Took me 30 minutes to fix it. I was on the phone with her for 2.5 hours. She was talking to me about her alcohol issues, neighbors, all this stuff, bro. She sent me a picture of her cat. A year later, sends me a picture of her cat again on the printer.
Imagine,
Bro,
a year later,
A year later,
crazy.
remembers my phone
That's
number.
insane.
Remembers
the
to text me,
highlight
you know?
of her life was one of the technicians calling and fixing her
That's
printer and
crazy.
helping her set it. Highlight of her life, dude. And like that's the one thing that's like been super big. Like I remember even like early on, we were never interested in creating a product, selling a product. We obviously have the best product on the market in what we do, but
Sound like a
Renewed.
drug dealer.
www.whitespider. But
Best
like
product
it
on
was
the
always
market.
it was always about building the brand, White Spider Electronics, and always building like what's behind it. You know, like this year we launched into PCs, desktops. You know, so now I mean, people that are buying renewed and refurbished desktops from us, you're about to be blessed with the best. You know, so like.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, like we're getting into it and we're doing these products, but it's like because we have such a foundation, we're able to like give someone a pleasant buying experience. You know, that I don't even know how many times I've picked up the phone and someone's like, I can't believe a real person picked up.
Oh my goodness, yeah, so many times.
Yeah, and it's just about building like who you are as a brand. You know, a brand that actually cares about people. You know, so it's like one of the biggest things, and I think like it matters in a successful company is like, are you in it just to like, and that's why like I think a lot of people say don't like if you're trying to get into it just for the money, don't do it, because if you're not passionate about it, if you're not bleeding for it, if you don't care about it, you know, it's not gonna work because you don't care about it. Because you like once you get that money, okay, who cares, you
100%.
know?
So, yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest ways, you know, we also look at employees, you know, it's like you want them to know that they're valued and that they're cared for. You know, you want them to know that you appreciate them, you know, and it's not just like about random words of affirmation every now and then. Hey, good job, pal. You know, here's a pat on the back. You get a gold star. No, but it's about actually like putting it forward and letting them know that they're appreciated, you know. And it's like one of those things where, hey, as owners, we get paid last. You know, everyone has to get paid first. And
I know there's a lot of people that say pay yourself first.
No, I don't agree with that.
There,
you know, because like, bro, the pie, bro. After you're done splitting up the pie, you know, what are you gonna do? Sit there and be like, man, but I want all the pie. No, man, you got stuff you're responsible for. You got stuff that you have to pay for. The moment you don't pay your employees, the moment you don't pay rent or something else, another bill, that trust, that bond that you have built with them is broken forever. Doesn't matter what excuse you come up with or anything like that. Imagine you work for a company and your boss comes up to you and tells you, hey, this $1,000 I owe you. Can you wait a month?
They're relying on that money, you know.
2 weeks later, hey man, can I just pay you $2,000 in a month? You know, and all of a sudden it's like, man, I'm not saying you're living paycheck to paycheck, but you go 2 weeks without getting paid. It doesn't matter who you are, you're feeling it. You're like, let me not go out to eat tonight. Let me, you know, not go to the grocery store. Let me buy this pack of ramen noodles. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know, I would actually like, I would probably go into that. Like, it's not just even about the money aspect. Like that trust and with you guys as employers, and obviously we're over our time here at this point, but you know, that trust, it gets broken between employer and employee. Those, like, it's not even like the aspect of like money, right? Because like usually they pay money, but what about the aspect of like certain expectations or certain like environments that you are put in as an employee, right? Certain things you guys went through, you know what I mean? And reasons why you guys have built the business to not be like that, which is something already. Like, I think the aspect that this contract or this, you know, it's not reciprocated all the time. This thing falls apart. Employees are not always treated to that best. So, and that's one thing. I mean, from looking from the side, I can definitely see it at, you know, a White Spider. Like, that stuff is. I haven't heard a single employee ever talk bad about it. Is what I'm trying to say. Is like, which is something I feel like is a lot.
Yeah, and we work hard for that, you know.
Right.
And like, man, I'd love to get into that. And like, there's actually man, this is just a skeleton, you know, like the stuff that like I'd love to get into, and like you know, a lot of the mistakes that we made, you know, and how that all unfolded, you know, and stuff like that. I'd love to get into that, you know. Maybe down the line we'll do a second episode. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Peace.
And join us.